Welcome back to the program. Glad you're with us this morning. Please join me in welcoming my very good friend Emil Lee. Time for St Maarten Insights news that matters to you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sock. Good morning, listeners. Nice to be here again
Our
for
la-
our last show of the year.
I know because
Yeah.
you're going off on vacation.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm
Bravo,
going up
good
to the cold to go see my parents. So
Awesome,
looking
awesome,
forward to that.
awesome. And
Sebastian's disappointed because it was cold.
it was super cold.
So the lake was freezing over. There was snow, but
Are they
apparently
are
the
they
temperatures.
are they at the lake house or are
Yeah,
they? Okay.
they're at the lake house, and
Mhm.
so apparently temperatures are up and things are starting to melt. So, but anyways, it'll be cold, so he's happy.
It'll be cold enough.
Yes,
It will be
exactly.
cold enough.
Exactly.
So no Council of Ministers press briefing yesterday.
Yeah.
They
So
canceled it
actually, it was
last minute.
actually yeah. I was ready to go. And then the DCOM, the Department of Communications, called and said I don't know, for some reason they're doing work in the room where they have the press conferences, and they thought it would be too chaotic. So they just recorded the Prime Minister's speech without any journalists there to ask questions, which, yeah, I don't get that.
That's not a press conference.
No.
That's him making a speech.
Yes. And the cameras all face forward. It's not like they look up at the ceilings that are being worked on or,
Right.
so just focus your cameras in a way that doesn't take in all the mess. So I didn't quite understand the logic behind it, to be honest. So, but c'est la vie. That's how it goes.
It just doesn't make sense to me when they do stuff like this.
Right.
Especially when they last minute, right?
Right.
Well, okay, well, you knew they were working in the room the night before,
Right.
and if you had these concerns, you probably had them the night before, and I'm pretty sure that nothing significant was going to happen between 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. the next morning. So if you had these concerns, why did you just not cancel it the night before?
And the other thing is, I mean, the holidays are coming up, so you know that chances are the next two press briefings are going to be canceled anyways. So why don't you schedule the work during an off time?
I'm pretty certain there will be no press briefing on Christmas Eve Day, which is next Wednesday, or New Year's Eve Day, which is the
Exactly.
Wednesday after.
Exactly.
So,
And these are third party contractors. I'm pretty sure that they're hiring. These are not civil servants that are doing the work, right? So
Right.
they're going to take their Christmas break, but so you hire contractors to come in and do it in between when you're not doing anything.
so I find as a member of the media and understand that I'm not the one who goes to these anymore. You are.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, if I was in your shoes, I would be pretty infuriated.
Well,
And
indeed,
I would
because
make it well known.
well, yeah. I also think that that's sometimes their strategy is sort of to frustrate journalists. I mean, I think it was the last time or the time before Jacqueline Hoffman from the Daily Herald arrived,
Mhm.
like a minute or two late, and they gave her a hard time and just made her leave, and they wouldn't let her ask questions. And so, I think that it's actually a little bit sad that given the amount of news outlets that there are, different radio shows and
We have one newspaper.
one newspaper, but there's still a lot of other radio and TV stuff, that more journalists don't show up. And I think it's indeed because sometimes they don't know who's coming,
Mm.
they cancel meetings, and so
So
sometimes I
from a
think
ra-
they
from
frustrate people.
from a radio perspective, is
Mhm.
there anyone else there that
No,
regularly?
no, most of the time it's just BB
Mm.
from SMN News and myself normally, and then occasionally the Daily Herald. And that's usually about it. Once in a while, Steven Cerulean from PJ82 would show up,
Mhm.
and
Because back when I used to go all the time,
Mhm.
when before you,
right.
BE before Emil,
Mhm.
um, it was pretty much it was me, Steven Cerulean,
Mhm.
um, Jacqueline from the Herald,
Mhm.
BB,
Mhm.
and Lyndon. But I think
Yeah, I think
Lyndon's not with us anymore from a press perspective.
right.
Although I did see his stuff surface again online the other day.
Yeah.
And then at one point in time, we had someone coming from Phillipsburg Broadcasting.
Right.
Um, well, that was Ralph Kantov.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But I think he's not there anymore.
yeah, no, he's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
Been gone for a while. So it's a shame that we don't have more people participating because it's our job is the media.
And it's just good for the island. I mean, to be honest, I actually like it when I'm the only the only journalist there, and then I can ask all my questions.
Can I send you? Can I send you? I want to send you to Washington D.C. to the White House and
Yes.
take on a certain president. It could be fun.
So just since we're sort of just picking topics all around the place, I saw in the news that Trump now has issued what is it, a travel ban or for people from Antigua, Barbuda, and Dominica. And so it's interesting. I think St. Kitts was on the list already. So indeed, I was reading an article that I think the news refers to them as golden passports, right? Some
Right.
of these countries were, because they're independent, they were, you invest X amount of money or maybe even just buy the passports.
Mhm.
The country will issue you a
Citizenship.
citizenship. And so I think there were some
I think there were
sort of questionable people who bought passports.
right.
And that's in the end translated now to all of the passports having an issue entering into the U.S.
I get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get the importance of making sure that if uh, someone is going to have the passport of a country, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That that if that's not their original nationality, that there has to be some level of due diligence to make sure that you are not um, doing you're just not doing things that are shall we say unsavory. We'll leave it at
And,
that.
and I have to say, for example, when I was in government, there were actually discussions here like, we need money. How can we make money? It'd be great if we could find a way to sell a passport. And this is where I'm sorry, it's still good to be part of the kingdom. So
Agreed.
because that responsibility is a kingdom responsibility and not something that's decided locally,
Mm.
they couldn't do it.
Right.
And can you imagine the impact of being banned as citizens from being able to, I don't remember exactly how the ban works, but you make it complicated for people with that passport to travel to the US.
Right.
And I'll tell you, from a tourism perspective, the impact could be substantial in that when airlines look at lift to your country, right? So they're trying to decide if we're going to put a flight in from the United States to Dominica or to Antigua, right? The inbound traffic is complemented by outbound traffic, meaning it's your residents, your citizens of the country. They also buy tickets on those flights.
Well,
So,
we typically, when you live here, right? Like I buy tickets to the U.S. and back here,
of course,
versus if you're living in the U.S., you're buying tickets from the U.S. and then back to the U.S. But it works both ways,
correct.
and um,
So that's
and it,
part of the business mix for the
right,
airline. And if you eliminate that,
it's a problem.
it creates a problem. So
So
this
it
is going
creates
to end up impacting their tourism possibly.
it creates issues with load factor and everything else, and that's a real issue for an airline.
Absolutely.
Um, I believe that you shouldn't just be giving passports away, right?
Right.
There's got to be, you have to earn, you get your passport of that you normally should have, right?
Right.
If you're born somewhere and that's where your family is from, or like in the United States, right? If you're born in the United States, you're a citizen of the U.S. If you are born here on St. Maarten to um, Dutch, uh, Dutch
Parents.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
then you're Dutch,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's just the way that it works. Um, I am not a fan um, restrictions on folks that would like to get a second passport. That for a variety of purposes that but a lot of countries don't allow it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like for example, um,
You're not a fan of
no,
dual?
I like dual.
Yeah.
I wish
Mm-hmm.
that there would be fewer restrictions on dual.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't get a Dutch passport here unless I give up my U.S. passport, and I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There are some conditions to that, just so you know.
yeah, there are, right.
If you get it through
Through
marriage.
marriage, after a period of time,
Correct.
you can get it. If your country that you are originally from doesn't allow you to give up your citizenship,
Right.
then you can be Dutch.
Right.
And I think if it's going to cost you an exorbitant amount of money
Mm-hmm.
to give up your passport, then they'll make an exception. Those are really the only ones that I'm aware of. And the only other option, I have to wait till I'm 65.
Right.
Right,
Right.
right. So then
I wonder why that is. I don't know what's the logic behind that.
no, and so after if you can prove that you've been here for a period of time, and I forget how long it is, but I'm already over that number, then when I turn 65, I could apply to have my Dutch passport by what's called option. So I could opt to have the second to get the passport without giving up my U.S. and I don't have to learn the language
Oh, really?
at that point.
Oh, interesting. They figure
So
at 65 you're just not capable anymore.
apparently, those are the rules now.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Um, so, but I'm going now. Let's think about it, right? So I've been here full time 18 years. My relationship to the island goes back to 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I live here. I pay my taxes here. My home is here. Why do I have why am I not eligible? Why do I have to learn Dutch, which very few people speak here unless you're in the legal system or the government
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
system. So why do I have to learn Dutch, and why do I have to give up my U.S.? And I understand those are the rules for the kingdom, for Holland, right, or for the whole kingdom. But it seems to me that there might be different rules based on different parts of the kingdom. It doesn't make sense to me. And but those are the rules, so I'm happy to respect them
Sure.
because I think the vast majority of Americans, that's what we do. We tell us the rules that we play by the rules. Um,
Agreed. Agreed.
so I'll wait till I'm 65.
Okay.
I'll be 59 in March, so
Okay.
6 years to go. If I'm still here, we'll see what happens. I'm not planning to go anywhere, but
You're
yeah,
going to be 59 in March?
yes, I'll be 15
So
in March.
older than you. Oh, wow.
March 6th.
Okay. Interesting.
I was born in 1967. Wow.
No.
How are you? How
I'm
much?
60.
You're you're a little older than
A
I am.
little older.
So
yes.
when did you graduate high school?
Oh, I don't know. I'm so bad with
1980,
dates.
85. I graduated class of 85. Oh,
So other things to talk about. Traffic. So I have my motorcycle. So I mean nowadays coming over this side to Colby Hill. So I live on the Don Beach side of the island, right?
Mhm.
So coming over this way, traffic is just so bad that if I can't come on my motorcycle, I really, really, really hate to come. But what I've noticed is, you remember how they circled a lot of these potholes with white paint,
right.
and at least on our side, there's still a lot of these holes that haven't been filled.
Oh, over here, a lot are filled.
Yeah, and now the white paint's like wearing off, so I'm starting to get worried. Like, oh no, they're gonna forget to fix these holes. So I wish.
Did you buy some white paint and go?
Yeah, I know. I feel like going back and remarking holes just to make sure, but it feels like they're not going to do it. I don't know what happened.
So I think over on this side, and they were not using Windward Roads to do the pothole repairs that was done through Washington Construction. And I actually, when the minister was in with NRPB to talk about wastewater, I don't think you were here that day. And I said to him after I didn't have this conversation on the air. I said, "But what's going on with the pothole repairs? Because they're doing a really sloppy job. You know, it's like they're just."
So maybe because of you, they stopped them and like, okay, now no more sloppy repairs. So there's just like no more repairs now.
Oh, one of the minister, before I even said anything, the minister, I agree with you. I've seen the same thing, right? You know, rather than actually fill the hole properly with the right process, cut out around it, fill the hole properly with the right process underneath, and then hit it with asphalt and hit it with the steamroller. They're just like flopping the asphalt on top of it. It doesn't even look like it's hot asphalt. That'd be a cold patch.
Yeah.
And so now you've created a road that had a hole that now has a bump.
Yeah.
But I will say on this side, a lot of that work has been done. Billy Folly, the paving work on Billy Folly is now complete.
Okay, that's good.
I know that they're still working. From what Tammy T told me from Red Piano, they're working on one of the speed bumps by the intersection of where the parking lot is for the casino and uh, and Red Piano. But the road is open and much smoother and much better. But I think when all of that work was going on, on all the arteries off the main road, even when they were doing it at night, that causes this construction equipment in the road. There's cones, there's things. It's not an easy flow. It
Mhm.
causes traffic to be moving slowly on the side arteries, and then all of that impacts the main road, and you need one thing to go wrong,
Right,
and it backs up everywhere because we
right,
just have one big circle effectively.
right. I
Um,
mean,
so
indeed, sometimes as I'm riding through, I can see there's traffic, but there's really just no sort of good reason for it. It's not like there's an accident. It's not like, something happened. It's just indeed people just pulling in and out, or especially like if a delivery truck is coming, they have to sort of cross into the other lane and back into us. So it's just all the time right now, and so that makes it very hard to plan. But and I've seen, so again, because on the bike I can see more.
mhm.
But like in town, you have the Pondfield Road, and then you have the parking, that parking lot that runs along the road. It's
Oh,
parallel.
on Pontville on the left as you're going
Yeah.
towards the port.
And I see people go in there in the morning, zip down through the parking lot, and come back out to cut ahead of what, 10
You
cars?
save 4 minutes, if the
Yeah,
four
not
maybe,
even, not
yeah,
even.
a minute.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And people cut through the parking lot of the gas stations to cut the
Yeah.
corners, and so I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I yeah, it makes me a little
Not
bit nuts. I wish people were a little kinder, a little nicer about
so.
that.
So I will tell you that yesterday I left here about noon. And I had a meeting over by Carrefour. I went to that meeting, and I turned over the hill by Bush Road.
Mm-hmm.
I turned around, I came back, and there was no backup, no traffic when I left here going over the hill towards Bush Road on the Carrefour side of Colby Hill, and then coming back, same thing was just free flowing and easy. And when I got to back to Colby to Simpson Bay area, I said, I really have to go see someone over in Kupakoy. I went over to see my friend Natalie at Rendezvous Lounge to meet Vesper the pup and have a cup of coffee. And we had some stuff Natalie and I wanted to talk about. I said, let me go see if she's there. And I drove over there and I made it straight shot to Kupakoy. And then I left. So I timed it because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I got my car when I left Port of Kupakoy, when I left Rendezvous Lounge at 2:53, and I pulled into Saks Car Rental near where Bada Bing, the Bada Bing
Mm-hmm.
Road, where
Mm-hmm.
Bada Bing used to be. Um, I pulled into Saks Car Rental for my next meeting at 3:08.
Yeah, that's
So
unbelievable.
that I was like, wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
and it was like normally the time when things would start to get pretty ugly. So I was happy.
And have you been running into road controls? So I think I think
Pedo, Pedo,
justice.
Pedo said from Budget said he's seen a lot of them.
Yeah, and I think we need to kind of give a big up to justice. I think it's I applaud that they brought in extra help, military assistance to help them man checkpoints, and that they're doing a lot of road controls. And if you look in the media, in the newspapers, and online, the police department issues these releases. They're finding drugs, they're finding cash, they're finding guns. I think it's great. I think they need to find a way to do something like this all year long. I think that it's really has a benefit for the community. I just wonder. I mean, I haven't seen them sort of holding up and causing traffic at all. So
I have not. I haven't seen one. I
that's
have not seen one.
yeah,
So
interesting.
I hear people talking about it, but I have not seen personally experienced one yet. So we'll have
Okay.
to wait and see what happens. Let's see. Let me take a quick break. It's 8:53, almost 8:54, and we'll come in and come back right after this break. Wrap up with our good buddy Mr. Emil Lee. 8:57 as we get ready to wrap up. And thank you for coming in, as always. What any other quick little topics we should cover?
Nah, I think
Uh,
well, you know what? It's just interesting because I was just watching the news yesterday. You know that the U.S. military has the Navy has a buildup in the Caribbean
yeah,
regarding Venezuela, and I see that the Prime Minister was in Holland, sort of talking about the sort of national security
right.
issues, and that the Netherlands, they aren't involved in that in any way, and so they're not expecting any sort of issues for the Dutch Caribbean islands. But it was interesting when I was watching the news, and what they were saying was that it's very hard for Trump to justify sort of this military buildup and then have nothing happen. He's all about ego, right? So
Yeah,
for him, just sort of bolstering everything up and then saying, you know, it's
yeah,
okay, we're cool, right? And walking away probably isn't going to happen.
yeah. I it is a messy situation, right?
Right.
And I don't really, I really don't want to. So I kind of look at it like this. I rarely talk. I mean, it's no. It's not a hidden fact that I am no fan of Mr. Trump. It is also not hidden that I have been a Republican my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what Mr. Trump has done to the Republican Party makes it no longer be the Republican Party that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, um, I really choose to keep my distaste for Mr. Trump off the air and to myself, um, simply because I don't need to offend or annoy half of my listeners. I'm gonna tick off half the audience and make the other half um, happy, right? And that does no good for the network. So
Right.
I choose to, if we were in the U.S., it'd be a different story, right? So I choose to just kind of keep my personal feelings off the air, other than what I've just said, and I hope, and hope is not a business or political strategy, but I hope and pray that cooler and wiser minds come to the table with some brains.
Well, and I would say, I hear you. I think that, for me, it's just for our listeners, and I know that you have listeners in the U.S. as well, and people who
And
visit our
Canada,
island
and Canada,
and
and around the
Canada,
world,
or
and the Holland,
exactly.
and the whole bit.
And so I think it's just good that for those that are geographically challenged to understand that while they're talking about Aruba and Curacao, which are very close to South America, St. Martin is very
Far,
far.
yeah,
So
we're
so
nowhere near.
we're nowhere near there. So just from a
I mean,
geographical perspective,
we've seen nothing here. We
yes,
we have seen no entourage go by. We've had no here people here on shore leave
no, exactly,
from the U.S. military,
exactly,
and it's pretty far away.
exactly,
So
exactly. So feel safe coming to St.
come
Martin.
come visit us.
Exactly.
Come visit us because
You're welcome. Come
yeah,
on down.
and quite frankly, I think it goes without saying, but you brought up, is the additional security that you see on the streets and in the areas that are frequented by visitors. It's safe to be here. There's police everywhere. There's security everywhere
Right.
in the evening, on the roads during the day. Um, and we've got some reinforcements from the Dutch military as well. The Marines are acting and assisting the police department, so that is all good stuff
Exactly.
for our tourist product and our visitors.
Exactly. So come
Come
on down.
come on
Share
down.
share the good life with us.
It's warm here, unlike where you're going next week.
Yes. Cool.
Give my best to your mom and dad.
I'll do that.
It is 9:02 right here in the Northeast Caribbean. My name is Dr. Sock. This is Fresh Air in the Morning right here on Island 92 and Z 105.1 FM.